So it's the 2009 Nissan Rogue 2.5 liter. I'm doing the rear rotors and pads. You can see it's pretty rusty. This vehicle had sat for a little bit. So it's got the little grommet here. There, I took out or one of these. But yeah, the pads you can see are getting pretty far down there. It's pretty rusty. You got your pin bolts here, and then you got your actual mounting bolts. So I'm gonna take off the whole thing. So I'm gonna PB blast that top one and then the bottom one down here. See if I can crack those loose. I'm gonna use, hopefully I can get a 1/2 inch in there because that looks pretty rusted in there. So we'll see. Let you know. I'm gonna take the tire off of the 21 millimeter to get the tire off. I'm back at the driver tire doing the brakes, and yeah, I got an 18 in there. I used a little extension just to be careful of this wire here. Your ABS wire kind of gets right in there, so if you use an extension and come out, you got room in between the shock there to get that top one cracked loose. So I'm gonna, before taking that out, I'm gonna come down here and try and crack that one loose with the 18 also. So here's the back, or the bottom one here. I used, yeah, my 1/2 inch. So she cracked loose. So then before you take these bolts out, this is most likely going to be stuck, but the caliper can come off. So have a bungee cord or something handy to hang this so you don't pinch this line here. You just want to hang the whole bracket up. And then you might have to push in on this caliper here to push in the pads to give you a little more room when you pull it off. But I'm just going to finish taking these bolts out. That bottom one there and then the top one. Now since them two bolts, not the pin bolts, but the other two bolts, so they're the pins, are unscrewed, there's nothing else holding this on except for the pressure of the piston. So you can kind of rock it back and forth. I'm gonna need 2 hands though. Starting to think I should have gotten new calipers also, but I'm just kind of rocking it back and forth, trying to get it off there. Be careful with your brake line there. When it does come off, you don't want to be flinging that line around. Yeah, just keep working at it. So you can see how little pad there is. Yeah, that's the pad, that little fin, that's all that was left. Thinking that fluid's a PB blaster. So I'm gonna take note of just how these pads go back in. See, it's jammed in there pretty darn good. So yeah, just kind of note which pad goes where. And then I'm gonna probably lube up this caliper instead of getting a new one. And then the rotor I'm changing too, so then this is gonna have to come off. So I'm gonna hang this with a bungee out of the way for now and get the rotor off first before taking the pads out. So my rotor's stuck on there. I'm just kind of hitting between. Make sure you don't hit the lug nuts. You can use a brick of wood too and hammer on that so you're not hitting direct on there. Yeah, that's PB blasted in there. So I've been banging on it like in between here, hitting on the top, and then you can see it's finally starting to move a little bit. So keep hammering on it. Be careful for the studs. I PB blasted kind of inside in there, but it'll start moving, you see. So then keep hammering. One of the harder rotors I've had to get off. You can see it gets rusted on the edge. Gets rusted on there, so when I put the new one on, I'm going to put anti-seize where it touches. And then I'm going to do like a quick inspection here. That's your parking brake assembly behind the rotor. And yeah, those were the 2 bolt holes that I took out. And then now I got the caliper up here. Caliper, so you can, yeah, watch that brake line. And then I'll probably just use a flathead and just pop those old pads out like I had the notation of them before. So I need to take that bungee off to get the little better access. Oh yeah, as you can see, this is a new pad. How much pad's on there compared to the old one. So that's why then you're gonna need to, which I'll show here in a second, is compress in the piston. So then you have room for the new pads and then the rotor to clear the new pads. So yeah, just be careful and then just kind of wedge in there. These should come out easy, but this is rusted as shit, so just get that pad out then. Yeah, because you can see how it's got this one with the thing, the like whatever thing to let you know that they're going bad goes on the one facing the piston. So get that out. So I'm using a C-clamp, and I just got it on the nut there, and I put a little block of wood in there to clear that little lip to push the piston down. If you want to make that flush, you can use the old brake pad, or they make special tools for this, or just cut a little block of wood, or yeah, just get that piston all the way down so you can make clearance for the new pads. Then there's the metal brackets the new clamps come in. They really only go in one way, but my new ones I've not seen any brackets that came with. It's kind of dumb, so I'm probably just gonna make sure these are bent right and wire brush them and then grease them up. But yeah, right now I'm just compressing that piston with a block of wood and the C-clamp. So I was having trouble getting the new pads in there, so I took off the brackets. I don't know why my new ones didn't come with these, but you can see where they go in, how there's them little notches and them little notches, and then it's just gonna go right. You kind of just gotta bend it in there right, and then you'll see where it goes once you get it past. Yeah, see how those, it goes right in that little groove there, and then the other one will, and you'll kind of just get that in the groove, and then you'll center it and then push it down. I'm gonna need two hands. So to get enough room for the pads, you're gonna want to slide. This will like slide on them guide pins. Yeah, on the guide pins. But I could not get these guide pins out. I unscrewed it, and this was stuck in there. So I should have replaced the caliper too. Because you can see how dirty that one is compared to that one. So the pin was stuck in there. So I had to re-put it back on. I had to re-bolt it back on and then crack these loose. And then I had to hammer to get, one of these was stuck in there. So I'm going to sand it down and then grease up the pin and then screw it back in which will give me enough room to be able to get the new pads in. I can show that when I reinstall it, but yeah, I didn't want to have to do this, but I guess it was a good thing I did, because the guide pin was stuck, so it wasn't going in and out as it should, making the brakes rub down even more. So I'm gonna sand these down a little bit, and then grease up these pins, and then hopefully throw the, see, there's something in, yeah, I might just go get new calipers. So I took the bracket off, and the one's got a little rubber on it, but same on the other side, the bottom one did not. But now I can't get this back in there. So I'm gonna take a drill, just kind of slowly take this in, and just kind of clean out the hole a little. I'm probably gonna get new calipers, so I just want to get it back on right now. Where'd that? Yeah. So it's just not going in as it should. So I'm just gonna bore out that hole a little bit from the rust, and then I sanded these down too to try and. But even after sanding these, it still didn't go in. Like it only goes in that far, and I gotta get it to go like that, and that's as far as I'm getting. And then yeah, these are your, clean these up or replace them if your new ones came with them. Yeah, a few things. Yeah, so hammer on here, don't hit the studs. I didn't put in new shims, so I'm gonna see if I get any noise. I didn't replace the calipers, just the rotors, brakes. Yeah, you can see how pretty close it's getting down there. These pads, the outer pad had more on the brake pad. Issues I had, yeah, getting the rotor out. These were kind of in there pretty good. I couldn't get them in there with the old ones on there, and yeah, so I just put them in without that. I had troubles getting the pins out of the calipers. I put the old calipers back in, but I would take out the caliper pins and lube them up, and it is easier to take that bracket off with the 14 millimeters and then the two 18 millimeters. Yeah, this took a lot longer than I was expecting. Bunch of issues. Yeah, getting them out, and then I didn't have to bleed the brakes. And then yeah, so they seem, I didn't hear any noise on my quick test drive, but I'm gonna test drive them in the morning. Hopefully, yeah, they're good. I mean, it should be straightforward, but yeah, you're always gonna have your issues, so. Yeah.